Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Employer Spotlight. Today, we are lucky enough to have Hillary Johnlons from Aptera. She's the hiring director there and has been for 4.5 years or so. And Hillary is very friendly to Indiana Tech, loves to come, do our career fairs, is an employer presence on our campus, and hires some tech kids. So let's hear what Emily has to say about Aptera and how they serve our community and the global economy. And so I'll just let you take it away, Emily, or
Okay.
Hillary, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I know. I need more coffee this morning, but
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
need my caffeine. Well, thanks so much for having me. Indiana Tech is just near and dear to our hearts. We've hired countless people from tech. Before the call, I was just actually counting, how many team members we have that I know have graduated from Indiana Tech. And so there's 10 total that I'm aware of. And 9 of those people are on our software team. So we hire a lot of computer science, a lot of software engineering majors from Indiana Tech. And actually, kind of a fun fact, one of our team members has taught within Tech's software engineering department for the past 10 years, Eric Potter.
Yes.
Some of your students may know.
Yes.
And so yeah, yep, but Indiana Tech is just a great partner to us. So I'll start just with sharing a little bit about what we do at Aptera. I'd love to talk a little about our company culture, and then of course, our internship program. So Aptera, for those of you who don't know, we're a software development consulting firm. We have, I would say 90 plus, developers, designers, strategists that build custom solutions for enterprise level clients that are located all over the world and within a variety of different industries. And we have around 110 employees total. We're based downtown Fort Wayne, where about 85 of our total employees work, and then the remainder of our team is remote. So we do have a remote workforce as well. Aptera was started in 2003, a little history there, by our co-founders, TK and Conrad. And when starting Aptera, they really had the mindset that they wanted to create a place that their employees were, genuinely excited to come to every day. I think, we've all potentially had those jobs in the past where, it's Sunday night and we're just kind of like dreading work on Monday morning. And they were like, we want people to be excited to come and work in this environment, to work with our clients, and just to really, it's like you spend 40 hours of your week, 40 hours plus sometimes at your job. And so to dread that is not good for your quality of life. So really, that's just where their hearts are. I'd say our culture really stems from, the fact that they genuinely care about our team and about doing incredible work for our clients. And so our culture is really a culture, I would say, of, for one, learning and growth. Our team is made up of people who are really passionate about technology, really passionate about learning new things. So there's avenues for our team members to, be learning and to be challenged every day. And I won't go into all of the different learning opportunities, but just to name off a few, we have weekly lunch and learns on technical topics. There's mentoring programs within each team. There's time each month that during the workday that you can allocate to learning. So that might be an internal special interest project. It may be, doing an online course on Pluralsight, or maybe studying for certification. And then there's our Aptera Academy, which I can talk a little bit about later as well.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's culture of learning. It's collaborative. You're collaborating with other developers, with your project manager, the business analyst, with QA, and then of course the client. And no solution that we build is built within a silo. It's a group effort. It's input from a really diverse set of team members, that results in the high quality that we produce. So it's collaborative, it's flexible. Everyone operates with a lot of autonomy. It's a very transparent culture. Leadership is very transparent about the direction of the company. We have quarterly meetings where we're discussing, everything from revenue to internal strategies and goals. And so sometimes I can get a little bit long-winded when I talk about our culture,
It's
just
awesome.
because there's so much to it, but that's kind of like, those are some of the highlights, I would say.
Awesome.
So I will, talk a little bit about our internship program, and specifically the Aptera Academy.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't
And
heard of that.
yeah. So we hire a lot of software development interns from Indiana Tech, and we have our software development internship posted for the fall of 2020, spring of
Yes.
2020. So you can check that out on our website on our careers page. But so if you're a software development intern, let's talk about that. So you start in the Aptera Academy, and this is really where all developers start, whether you have 20 years of experience or you're an intern, and this is really like your first job in software development. And the idea behind the academy is that no one hits the ground running. We believe there's an amount of time for anyone, which typically for an intern is 8 weeks or so, that we really need to invest in you and train you in our best practices, in the workflows that we follow and our technologies before you're really ready to successfully join a project team. So a lot of times when I tell intern candidates this, there's just like this huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, I bet.
Relief when I say that, there's training and that we expect that you're going to have a lot of questions, and we, expect that you're maybe not exactly sure how what you've learned in the classroom is really going to apply to developing software in the real world. And we're going to take that time to train you up front. So the academy really consists of training in our best practices. So things like test-driven development and continuous integration and deployment. And there's a lot of clean coding standards that we adhere to. We're training you in our agile approach that we follow, which includes frameworks like Scrum and Kanban. We're training you in the languages and technologies we use. We do a lot of what we call mobbing, which to explain that, it's basically like 3 or more developers pulling up, one code base and working through coding problems together. So these interns are, mobbing with senior level developers on our team, and they're really getting to see, how these other developers are problem solving and the mindset that they have when they're, approaching and working through a coding issue. So all of this makes for just a really incredible, I would say, learning experience, helps to build confidence. So then interns are ready to join a project team and apply what they've learned. One thing that I'll highlight as well is, that you do get to join a real project. So you're not fetching coffee or just
Cool.
watching, training videos all day. You're working with other developers. So I would say there's usually 3 to 4 developers or so on a project. So you're getting to work with other devs, with a project manager, a business analyst, a QA person, and then the client, a product owner. And really, what I've heard from interns that have transitioned to full-time after their internship, which we do hire a lot of our interns to work full-time at Aptera, which is really cool. But what I hear from these interns that go full-time is, nothing really changes when you go full-time other than, I'm working more hours. And that's because you're really doing the job of a software developer as an intern. And we have had interns, we had an intern, I would say a couple of years ago or so, go on to work at Microsoft. And I think that's just kind of like a testament to the training that we provide
absolutely.
in our internship program. So I'm like, how am I doing on time?
You're good. We're at 10:13. So
Okay, perfect. So let's see, I will talk a little bit about just kind of community involvement. I know you mentioned that at the beginning of the call. So I think this also goes back to the hearts of our owners. It's always been extremely important to them throughout the years to be giving back to the community. I volunteered alongside both of them, at the community harvest food bank the day before Thanksgiving, have gone into local classrooms to share about careers in technology with our CEO. We do a lot with NeighborLink, and
Okay.
we actually received the Link Award for our dedication to motivating and encouraging our team to give back through, various projects during work hours and outside of work hours. So we have all kinds of team members that, have built wheelchair ramps, that have painted houses, that mow lawns, that rake leaves, all kinds of different odd jobs throughout the year that local people to Fort Wayne may need.
Right.
The other thing I would say is Aptera really promotes women and technology. This is near and dear to my heart. We have an internal women in technology group that meets regularly, and then we have a few subcommittees within this group. So there's like community outreach, diversity and inclusion, and then training and professional development. So you can really pick what you're most interested in and then kind of like channel your time and efforts into, one of those groups. I'm in the community outreach committee, and we find volunteer opportunities to go into the classroom and run coding exercises or just talk about careers in tech. We put on hours of code at Aptera for school age kids local to Fort Wayne. And we're planning some really exciting things, for the rest of this year, specifically for tech-minded women in Fort Wayne as a whole. So more to come on that. We're anxious to get back into the office and be able to get some of that kicked off. But community involvement is definitely an integral part of our culture and really our mission at Aptera
Awesome.
too.
I know I love seeing all the things that you guys do with STEM in the classroom and promoting all of that at such a young age. That's, for them to kind of find that spark. So I love seeing all that publicity, for lack of a better word, for your company. One last thing that I wanted to hit on is your remote work. I know I follow you guys on LinkedIn. In fact, we literally kind of copied your t-shirts, your essential worker t-shirts.
Oh, nice.
I asked Mike if that would be okay. I mean, it's not exactly, but it's the same.
We love it.
To try and keep that sense of community. And I just wanted you to hit on that just a little bit about your remote work during this crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, well, for one, like I mentioned, we do have like 20 or so employees that like work remotely all the time for Aptera that live outside of Fort Wayne. And so I think it's been really, honestly, like a positive from all of this is it's given us more empathy and understanding and, what they experience on a day-to-day basis, and just that it does there. I think there is some difficulty when you're working remotely every day and you're not face to face with your team members. I mean, you're seeing people over Zoom, but there is like just kind of that lack of connection. And so what Aptera has done, well, we've created like a virtual kitchen. So like at Aptera's office, like the kitchen is just kind of where everyone gathers, obviously,
Yes.
like around the food, right? And so we created like this online, like this Zoom meeting that's open always. It's a virtual kitchen. And so like people pop in and pop out of there and just socialize, during lunchtime or outside of lunchtime. Just, sometimes you need to just have like some side conversation. You need a mental break from, the code that you're writing or whatever it is that you're doing. So that's one thing. We did
Cool.
send out like quarantine, like care packages to all of our team members too. And so you mentioned the t-shirts. So we made these like quarantine crew t-shirts, and we always have at the office, like we have a cereal bar. So we put some cereal in there, and then some other quarantine essentials like some toilet paper and some hand sanitizer, I think.
Yeah, it was
And sent those
so
to
cool.
everybody. Yeah, just so people know, like, we're thinking about you.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, we've we're transitioning everything to be remote. So there's, a Zoom meeting for everything. But since we've had remote employees prior to this, there really was a Zoom meeting, I would say, for almost everything anyway. So in a sense, it hasn't changed a lot about the way that we operate as well, which I think we're really fortunate to have been
Hmm.
positioned so well for something unfortunate like this pandemic.
Right.
But yeah, we're
Cool.
making it work.
Yes, yes. I know. Like I said, I always encourage students to follow all the local companies, especially if they want to stay in Fort Wayne, on LinkedIn. And we try every day to, teach our students that it's a professional network, but it's so much more. You learn so much about companies and the people who run them, and there's all kinds of community-based things on there too. So as we see, this generation is very, community is in the forefront of their mind. So I always think of Aptera as one of the top companies in Fort Wayne that does that. So I
Oh,
think that's awesome. I've learned a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much for thinking of us. And,
Yes,
um, you know,
absolutely.
I love to talk about Aptera and our culture and our openings. And so thanks for giving me the avenue to do that today.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And we'll promote that internship and we'll see if you get any good candidates.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. I'm
I'm
hoping
sure you
so.
will. I'm sure
All
you
right.
will. Thank you. All
Okay. Thank
right.
you.
See you, Hillary.
Bye, Amy.
Bye.